Hey guys, thought I'd show you a bit of regeneration in the, post bushfire landscape. This is in Gary, near Wooloowaya. It's about 2 months after the fire. Got a little bit of regrowth coming back. Bracken ferns. These are lomandras, young lomandras coming back. There actually is a few of the larger trees starting to grow new shoots already, which is really good news. Here we go. This is one of the paperbarks, Melaleucas perhaps. I'm not that good with my plants, but they're growing back sprouts at the base. That little bit of rain that we had earlier in the week's really helped them along. See, it's growing all up the edge here. Really nice. We can actually see some Banksia seed pods that have actually burst from the heat, so hopefully a few of those start to sprout up. The lomandras are one of the first things to come up. They're doing really well. It's really nice to see. There's not much in the way of bird life here. They're all pretty well gone to where there hasn't been any fire, but they'll be back. This one's, you can see the I'm not sure what this fella is actually. It's a bit hard to tell now that he's burnt, but his sprouts come right back up from the base. I think it's another Melaleuca or paperbark, one of those. And he's growing back really nicely, even though the entire parent plant's dead. Old man Banksias, you can see that their seeds are burst, even if the adult plant's actually dead, like I think this one probably is. So I can see some shoots. Doesn't look like he's coming back, at least not yet. But the seed pods have all burst, so hopefully we'll be seeing young Banksias sprout up. Really nice. See a little bit of insect life around, which is a good sign that things are still alive in here. I want to find a Banksia growing, but haven't yet. A lot of flies about me. A lot of ants are already starting to come back. I think they're fairly resistant to the fires. The ants. You can see all burnt seeds here. These guys are too far gone to be sprouting. They're actually just crushed into dust. That's the Melaleucas. Melaleucas, the seeds don't seem to last the fires very well, but the adult plants are pretty resilient. There's a few bigger animal diggings. These are actually burrows of something, so can't get any tracks off the sand there, but the burrows are a good sign that things are coming back. This is actually the very edge of the fire front, just here, or where it was. So that's nice. There's still live Banksias, live Melaleucas. There's midgeonberries and a lot of undergrowth that's still fine. The fire actually went through this area, but not with the intensity it did back further, which is really good to see. Anyway, you can hear some drums in the distance. Must be the, I think there's a local group that does drumming up on Greenpoint there. Sounds like a bit of fun. So this is the main fire path. Straight up the ridge. Bottom of the ridge is alright. And it just keeps going and going. Just have to watch where I walk so I don't squash any of the new plants that have come up. Something very pretty about a burnt landscape, even if it is, almost depressing. There's still a good amount of beauty. Very Australian scene, I think, or possibly I'm just used to it. And here's some bird life over here. We've got some non-burnt trees, or not entirely burnt. Some of the native pines got through it all right. We've got sounds like there's some honey eaters. A little bit of a creek down here, and it does sound like there's a few birds about in there. Probably can't hear them over the wind, if you can even hear me over the wind. just on the fringes, there's still birds hanging about. It's actually a really good example of how fast some of our bush regenerates with that little bit of rain. Just down here there's a bit of a mangrove swamp. Not a mangrove swamp, sorry, that's an entire lie. It's not a mangrove swamp, it's a tea tree swamp. And yeah, the sprouts that are coming back in the swamp are beautiful. We had, I think we had about an inch of rain in the last week, and this was just a blackened little desert. It's really sprung up now. I'm hoping you can see that quite well. Obviously some of it didn't get burnt here, there must have been a bit of a pool, but it's still all browned out. But those new shoots are everywhere, which is great. Okay. It's going to take a long time for some of these bigger trees to come back how they were. A lot of them will be dead down to the base, but the undergrowth regeneration is #1 step, I think. There's a nice mound or something. I'm wondering if it's a bull ant nest or an old brush turkey mound. There would have been brush turkeys here one time. Probably not for a few years now though. Anyway, trek back to the car. Thanks for watching, guys.